And welcome to the Next Guy Up podcast. We have a very average podcast for y'all today, the most average of average podcasts. We are excited for a average. I already messed it up. I'm just kidding. But we have an awesome episode. It's award show day, everybody. How psyched are we?
I have never been more excited to hand out some fictional awards to some football players and teams.
Yeah, we just want to let everyone know that if you do win an award, you can expect a trophy in the mail. It's coming.
Yep.
It'll be there sometime in the next couple of weeks. So, Tins is actually hand delivering them in his in the UPS truck. Personally.
Yep. So make sure you guys have the correct addresses forwarded to us at nextguyup@gmail.com. Make sure you got those sent our way so I don't get lost and take them to someone who does not deserve them.
Mason, what do our trophies look like?
So they're gold and they're about 7 feet tall. That was a lot on the shipping, so we spent a lot of money.
Hand delivered. Yeah,
yes, that's why. But
we use our whole yearly budget on deliveries, shipping.
Correct. That is our exact Gmail account. So any sponsors out there that are actually wanting to sponsor us, just say that again in a professional tone, Zach. What was our Gmail?
Our Gmail is nextguyuppod@gmail.com. Email us there, and we will be ready to write you back. We'll talk about you on the air. Whatever you, if you send us an email, I promise you, we will read it and talk about it live on a podcast. That is a promise. Send us an email. I don't care what it's about. If you like a mailbag, you have a question you want us to answer, put it there. Send it. Text us. We'll talk about it too. I promise. Whatever you want to hear about.
He's told no lies there.
Not a single lie has been told.
Well, boys, how we doing first week without football?
I think it's gonna be weird come Sunday. It was weird the Sunday before the Super Bowl as far as like, oh, I have free time. I have not been on my couch for 8 straight hours.
We have NBA All-Star Weekend, which I used to get into a lot, but I don't know. Here lately, the dunk contest has not really been exciting. We got some names. And it's kind of just been one of those things where they don't play defense. The players draft each other, so then I get confused because it used to be, the East and the West. So it's just they try to, spruce it up a little bit, but it's not. I used to be more into it, but NBA, college basketball, once that goes away, then that's where it comes where you have to rely on baseball and golf. That can tend to. But don't you worry, because we got some content for the off-season.
We do. Before we dive into what's going to happen after basketball, like Mason was saying, we have a lot planned for March Madness. The boys like to get together, watch some games. So we'll have some more TikTok content coming that way. Bets as well. And we also, we've been very, very, very football heavy on these weekend preview Friday episodes all year. We're going to kind of pivot from that and have some more fun with maybe some more like fun debates. There's some draft opportunities in the sports world that we've been thinking about talking about for like some fun stuff. And we'll have some NFL coverage as well, or NFL draft coverage as well. Me and Mason are big draft nerds.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. But we're also starting this Friday. We're going to be kicking off our fan interview series. We're still workshopping the name just a little bit, but we've got a pretty solid list of people. We're going to be interviewing some people we know, some people we don't, and we're very excited about that. Kind of getting perspective of other people's fandom and just kind of having some fun conversations with that. So we are really looking forward to these Friday episodes being a little bit more laid back and fun now that football's over. But we'll still break, if there's some big news, we'll talk about it. But other than that, we're gonna kind of be leaning more towards like a messing around Monday feel on a Friday too. So it's like a double whammy out here.
Yeah, I'm really excited about our fan interview series. Like I said, I think we've got a name that we're circling, but we'll launch it for sure on social media coming up this week.
Get that. Could you try again?
Oh my
Siri
gosh,
is trying to
Siri is
insert herself
freaking
into our
out.
podcast.
Apple, get out of my face.
And our first guest,
Oh
Siri, first guest on the pod for the,
Oh,
the fan
what
series.
if we had AI as our guest? I wonder what it would do.
That would be funny. Maybe we should ask it all the same questions.
Yeah, what if we have the Twitter AI? What was it called?
Grok.
Grok.
Grok?
I think that's right. Yeah, well, let's ask it questions. We've got some like survey questions. We're going to dig into a lot of different fan bases. So, we'll put this out here now. If you are a listener and you are a strong supporter, you feel like you are like a super fan of a team. Like Tins obviously is a Jag super fan. I'm more of a Tennessee football, Tennessee basketball type super fan. Mason, what are you?
Titans fan.
Oh,
Listen. No, don't come at me. I packed them up during the head coach. Okay,
this has had a long history of being a Titans fan. It's been a tough season.
Yes, it has.
Go
through your ups and downs, you know.
You do, for sure.
Tinsley roots for them to lose a game so that they miss the playoffs and fire their GM. No one says anything, but then I'm over here just not as confident as usual, and everybody's like, "Oh, Mason, not a true Titans fan." Just saying. Do you confirm or deny these allegations, Tins?
No, yeah, I definitely wanted us to fire our GM. It didn't happen.
He's in for the long game.
I'm working on it.
but we're looking for fans of all different types of sports, all different types of teams. If there is like a soccer team that you feel like you are a super fan of, if there is a whatever sport, like we would love to get as much diversity here as we can as far as sports goes. We don't want to just hear from college football or NFL. Like we want to hear from people who have been fans of teams for a long time and have gone through ups and downs with them. So if you feel like you fit that category of any team, send us a message on at nextguyoutpod@gmail.com. Get to us on socials. Send us a DM. Text us if you got our number. Tins is going to give his number live right now. So if you want to text him, you can.
931-510. There's 4 left. You figure it out. That might,
1, 2, 3.
That'd be fun.
You know, if there's 4 left, there's only 10,000 possibilities.
Exactly. If you work that hard to find me, then I'll let you on the pod.
All right. If anyone's out there wants to try 10,000 different phone numbers, you can get a hold of Tins, and you will get on the pod for sure. So that I'm really excited about that segment coming up. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And then one other thing, like Mason said, once basketball's over, you're kind of depending on golf and baseball. But there's one other sport that goes deep into the summer, and that's hockey. I texted the boys last night. I am the most casual hockey fan there ever was. The last few years, I have picked just one team to see if I can ride into the Stanley Cup Finals.
Boy, I almost did last year.
I almost did it last year for quite a lot of money.
Yeah, with the Bruins not losing in the
so it was it was a free $5 or $10 bet. It was Chiefs Super Bowl, UConn national champions, and the Bruins to win the Stanley Cup. I took it back in December.
And they like the best regular season in recorded NHL history.
Ever history. Yeah, most points scored, best record. It was like 10 to win 3,800, I think, something wild like that. So yeah, that's fun. So instead of just one team, I'm going to go with one from the West and one from the East. So we're going to go with the Colorado Avalanche plus 850, and we're going to ride back the Bruins at plus 850 as well. So hop on them with me. They come to Nashville a couple times. I'm going to try to go up to some games. Hockey's fun. Hockey's really fun to go to live.
Fun. Yeah.
It's a little hard to keep up with on TV just because it's so fast paced, but it is a fun sport that I want to get more involved in. I don't know that I could give that much time to baseball. And baseball kind of just sucks. Hockey, I think, could be fun.
That's loyal right there. The fact that they burned you. We didn't talk about this. They lost in the first round, by the way.
To a
So
7 seed.
7 seed. So they burned you the way they did, and you're still riding back with them, baby.
I was watching one of their playoff games at Waffle House as I did our fantasy football punishment, where I sat at Waffle House for 12 hours.
Didn't that team that beat them go on a run though and like make it to the finals?
They made it to the finals. Yeah, they lost to the Golden Knights, but so yeah, so I mean, at least I had that going for me, where I was like, well, at least the team that beat them didn't like immediately get put out or something. So it was a Cinderella run that I was just in the way of, you know.
I feel that's happened to the Vols basketball team a couple times, like Loyola Chicago with Sister Jean.
Yeah. It's like
there's no stopping that one.
There's powers at B that we are not able
too high
to stop.
Okay, well, we can go ahead and do we want to do Super Bowl recap?
Yeah, we can talk about the Super Bowl a little bit.
So that happened about a week ago, or less than that. We were all together. There was a lot of fun content out there. If you have not seen Mason jump into a freezing pool yet, spoiler alert, he does.
Very cold.
Mason,
freezing.
Why did you have to jump in the pool?
So I may have been like eating beforehand. We did the nugget competition.
Oh, this guy.
Tough look.
Just
Making
50.
Excuses.
Yeah, we all knew I couldn't do it. Okay, we knew it going into it. 50 nuggets. Zach actually may have had the world record for 50 nuggets eaten in a time lapse.
I did the prep work for sure.
Mason had a sausage biscuit that morning for breakfast. We should have known he couldn't eat that many nuggets.
I don't think his stomach can physically contain more than 30 nuggets.
I was literally about to throw up. I had to stop. It wasn't like, and I got 30. I felt confident. And then it's like, nope, it's not like I slowed down. I just stopped completely. I was like, well, this ain't happening. So yeah, I had to jump in. Check it out on TikTok though. I didn't just jump, right, guys? Give me some props. I belly flopped. I showed commitment to our fans. I didn't want to just like dip in. Yep.
Very funny video.
Should have done that on the cruise ship because I think I had a better belly flops than some of those guys during the belly flop competition. So
the only thing that would have made it better is if you like projectile vomited right as soon as your stomach hit the water.
As soon as you hit the water.
Yeah.
It just like pushed it out of you. Like
yeah.
In the pool.
That'd have been awesome.
That would have been great, honestly. Mason moved into his new house a couple months ago, and so that pool has never been cleaned. It's cold from the winter still, so
never not been used by me until I had to jump in it. Yeah, that's my first swim in the pool.
It's awesome. We also had some big bets hit. Mason, Tins, you guys want to break down some of your hits?
Yeah, Tins, you go ahead. Yours was pretty epic.
Mason did a big one in the first half though too.
Mason hit, yeah. So I had a ton. There's action going everywhere. Gave out some long shot first touchdown props, but I kept sprinkling Christian McCaffrey just because his odds were so bad that it took betting it a lot to make it worth it. So I broke even there, and I had a future on Chiefs and 49ers where I would have made a little bit of money either way. So I really wasn't touching the money line too much either way. But I made a decision that once Patrick Mahomes is down and I saw the number be plus 280, it was time to empty all the accounts that I have, because if I lost, then I would take a break till March Madness. I second guessed for 1 second because I thought my wife was going to be angry, because when I first said it out loud, she was like, I wouldn't. She thought I had a lot more money in my accounts on DraftKings and FanDuel than I do, I guess. She was like, oh, I thought you just put like $2,000 on that. I was like, no. You think I just carry around $2,000 in my sports betting accounts? Like, no, that's irresponsible. And emptied the accounts. Nice hit. Still got it at like plus. It was like 2 or 180, I think, or something like that. I mean, as soon as it hit a high 2, everyone smashed it. So it was a very nerve wracking game all the way to the end. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes has a plus sign next to him, you have to take it, in my opinion, and that's what I did.
Yeah, and it was pretty awesome to see, especially I was stressing and it wasn't even my money. And just to be on the winning side, even if it's not your bet and a friend hits, it's a pretty good feeling. But um I so me and Tinsley signed up for a new account on a sports book. We're not gonna go into details, but we got some free bets. And basically I just sprinkled like $10 on a bunch of long shots because the most fun ones are the ones like Tinsley did. One of his best bets was offensive lineman to score a touchdown.
Oh man,
We had
if that
we
would
had
have hit.
yeah. So I started just going down the line, $10 on like a kickoff to be returned for a touchdown. So some ridiculous ones that didn't hit. However, the one that did hit was a non-quarterback to throw a touchdown, $10 to pay out $350.
Heck
Bingo.
yeah, baby.
Yeah,
You
and
got
so
Juwan Jennings.
a couple of the free bets my wife also bet, and so she had Christian McCaffrey first touchdown for the 49ers, and that also cashed. So we did pretty well when it came. I didn't pick a side. However, once Tinsley bet what he bet, then I was basically picking a side at that point. But I'm a props guy when it comes to the Super Bowl because the side sometimes is just like hard to bet.
Yeah.
I said on the podcast, I literally said this seems like the whole world, which the books took, like they literally got like they got raw or they got what do you say they got destroyed by the public. The books did because I said has to be a 49ers win. Everybody's on the Chiefs. It feels like a trap. And if I would actually bet aside, I would have got it wrong because I was on the 49ers. So,
Yeah.
but we had a really fun weekend.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the game goes, a very well played game. There's nothing that really stood out to me that really says like, oh, the 49ers lost it because of this. It just,
Yeah.
I think the only thing you could really argue is their decision to take the ball to start overtime, which I know it's been talked about on every show all week long,
Yeah.
but you know, and they're getting a lot of backfire because of it. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you go down and score a touchdown, then you put all the pressure on the Chiefs to say, okay, now you have to match us.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Chiefs were rolling all game. They had a lot of offensive struggles in the first half, but the Chiefs did what they normally do and kind of figured it out. So, honestly, I don't blame them for wanting the ball, but I think at that point you do have to be a little bit more aggressive and go for the touchdown instead of kicking that field goal. But really, I mean, other than that, I think it was a well played game. I can't really put blame on anybody. Be like, oh, it's Brock Purdy didn't have a meltdown. It seemed like the pressure was too much for him. He played well. Some uncharacteristic turnover from Christian McCaffrey, but then Isaiah Pacheco as well had a big fumble for the Chiefs. So, well played game. I'd say like our last 3 to 4 Super Bowls have all been really good games, really close. So that makes it fun because I know there's a stretch in the 90s, which we're not old enough to remember, but apparently like every game spread was like over 7 points and they're all blowouts one way or the other. So it's been nice to know that like we've been in a good era of Super Bowls where all the games, all the ones I can remember, other than there's a handful. There's like the Seahawks blowing out the Broncos and
Bucks
things
blew
like
out the
that.
Chiefs, didn't they? Wasn't it like 38 to
Yeah,
something, 30
it
something
was
or
pretty
whatever?
bad. But I mean, we've had some really fun ones, overtime games, so that's been fun.
Yeah. Our boy Juwan Jennings. What about that?
He
Could
he
have
would
been
have
an
won
MVP.
MVP. He
Yeah.
would have won MVP, which would have, and that was the other reason too.
Crazy.
Chris McCaffrey was not performing, and I hedged in a way where and I mean Zach rode with me, but I
I
was like,
did.
if the 49ers win, it's because Chris McCaffrey has gone off. which was just, I mean, he had a good game, but he wasn't going to win an MVP. And so there was no way I could really like have a good, profitable day if the 49ers won without Christian McCaffrey being
Yeah.
the catalyst to that. So
Yep.
that's another reason why I was
Almost
like, all right,
lost it all.
we gotta just go. We gotta double down, risk it for the biscuit right here. Patrick Mahomes, double my money real quick.
I will say
Juwan
Tim
Jennings.
almost cashed out at the end of regulation. He was this close.
I was looking at it. I was like, guys, do I cash out? And then it took it away, and I can't even say for sure that I wasn't going to, because it was good. It was a little over what I bet. So I was like, oh, it could be worth it. But I'm glad I didn't. It was good content. It was good for TikTok. Us freaking out.
It was fun. Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun.
Juwan Jennings had longer odds than my boy Sam Darnold did. So
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
If you would have bet 10, did I get this right? If you would have bet $10, I think it was a lot. I think it was 3,000.
30. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is that right?
30, he was 35-1. Sam Darnold was 30.
Oh, okay. Never mind. So it would have been 300.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe it was just because we were very focused on the game, but did you guys remember any of the commercials at all?
Very disappointing this year.
I feel like it's been every
Pretty
year
bad.
now for a couple of years in a row where it's like, what are we doing here? And like a lot of the good ones are released like the week before, like the Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
That one where they try to throw Hey Arnold, up the mountain.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
I remember there was a lot of celebrity cameos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, if everyone's doing it, it's no longer memorable. If there's a celebrity at every commercial, that's like, it doesn't. I don't know.
Seen the same Temu commercial 8 times.
Correct.
Sorry, Zach, didn't mean to interrupt.
I will say though, Temu has gotten a good bit of publicity out of that. I think it might have been worth it. But I will say the Michael Sarah V. I did like that one. I thought that was pretty funny. I did like the Paramount Plus one, even though we saw it ahead of time, and then we got some pretty big movie trailers. We might save some of that content for a mess around Monday, but there was definitely some big time movie trailers. So I appreciate that they a lot of movies kind of held their trailer until big drops on the Super Bowl. It makes it pretty exciting. Where the commercials aren't as funny, it made for some exciting time still. And I still think it would make Mason answer for his top 10 of the year halftime show.
Yeah,
top
that was
10
good, right?
We're going to look forward to.
Yeah, it held up.
Did it hold
right?
up?
We had a bunch of surprise artists. We got Ludacris, Little John.
That part was good.
Yeah, for sure.
Alicia Keys. There's one more. Was it Will I Am in there? Will I Am? Yep. So we got some. No, it was good. I give it a B plus.
Wow, pretty good. This is way off topic.
Anybody else want to rate it? Yeah, go ahead.
Apparently the official NFL account is trying to scrub Alicia Keys' bad note from the internet. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, they're hiding it.
On their official YouTube video, if they fix the note. And apparently everyone who posts it, they're deleting it. Like they're going and like actively getting them taken down. And I saw a thing, it was like, in 10 years, are we going to be debating each other whether or not it actually happened? And people are going to be like, and that time Alicia Keys hit the bad note, and he's like, what bad note? Here's a video, and it sounds right. And it's like, oh.
Well, if they had to do scrub bad notes for the Black Eyed Peas concert, the Super Bowl halftime, then they would have to scrub the whole halftime show. Because look at so every single year, the halftime shows of the past pop up. Just look up Fergie like screaming into the mic. It's almost worse than the national anthem. that she does. She's known for, but that's a pretty bad one. I've seen like rankings. I wanted to look up some rankings, and that was like one of the worst ones. So a lot of bad notes in that one.
I went back literally yesterday and watched Bruno Mars from a few years ago. Banger.
Yeah,
He doesn't miss.
banger.
Bruno Mars
That was a good
miss.
one.
Done
He
it
could do
several
it again
times as
next
well.
year. He's like, I think he only headlined it once, and then he's been in a
Yeah,
couple
he
other
headlined it
ones.
once. He was a drummer at the beginning.
He drums
he's on a drum set,
but it's before all of his stuff that he's done recently with like Anderson .Paak and the what's his band called that they do now? I could have told you at the time. But it was before Uptown Funk, and it was before like a lot of the stuff people know him for now. He could do a whole other halftime show with brand new songs, and it would be just as good.
Yeah,
that's it. Bruno Mars. Since you're listening
Silk
to this
Sonic.
podcast,
Sorry, Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic.
But it was before like the 24 Karat Magic and Finesse and like that. He did that Super Bowl before all that. So this is maybe a messing around Monday topic as well, but fire.
Bruno, bring it back. Let's run it back.
All right.
Award time.
Yeah, we're burying the lead a little bit. We have some awards to give out. 25 minutes in now.
Big deal.
Just like any good award show, we have to waste a bunch of time to begin.
We got the fluff.
Get our commercial breaks in.
Sponsors.
Build the anticipation.
Right. Okay, Tins, you want to break down how it's going to go?
Yeah, so we are doing this is the first annual Next Guy Up award show. So we're going to be giving out some awards, maybe some serious awards, maybe some not so serious awards. But this is going to be, I don't know, we all brought our own winners of each award. And so without further ado, I think we ought to kick things off with an in memoriam to all the coaches that we've lost this year to retirement / getting your butt fired because you suck.
Shout out.
I think Zach should start out the first one because he's the most sad about this coach out of any coach ever to retire.
In memoriam, Nick Saban. Gone, but
didn't you say the Wicked Witch is dead?
I don't remember saying that. I definitely did say that. May he rest not in peace because he's not dead. But I hope he thinks about what he's done for the rest of his life and how much pain and suffering he's caused to the rest of humanity. So,
well, he's just going to be on game day now. He's going to roast us. He's going to roast UT every chance he gets.
Listen, I can't wait for that moment, though. I feel like it's going to happen whenever it's like the Tennessee-Alabama game on game day, and he picks Tennessee to kind of be edgy, to get the crowd riled up.
Oh.
And make Tennessee just be like, fans be confused about what to do. Excited for that moment. It's going to happen.
Wow. That's a future Friday pick right there.
That is. Please bring that up again right before this season starts.
It's going to happen. Just trust me.
Yeah.
I would like to do our next guy because this is a guy, along with someone else, who has made me cry more as an adult than anyone else. Dating back to 2017 and 07. Bill Belichick. Yeah, I'm aware. He had ruined my life in 2017. That was the year Blake Bortles was supposed to lead the Jaguars to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that was your first mistake.
Bortles combat.
Bortles combat. In the words of Julian Edelman, the Patriots had the GOAT and Tom Brady, but the Jaguars had the BOAT, best of all time, in Blake Bortles. Shout out my man, Blake Bortles. 2017 ugly jerseys. The worst AFC Championship team in the world. Bill Belichick coached circles around Doug Moreau. But now I don't have to deal with him because not only did he get fired, but then he didn't even get another job.
Dang, what a bummer.
Suck it, Bill.
He's going to have a show, dude. Some kind of commentary.
Yeah. If you had Blake Bortles on your bingo card, email us at nextguyyuppodcast@gmail.com. We'll send you a free t-shirt.
Tins, do you own any Blake Bortles merch still?
He does. I wore one.
Yeah,
I wore his
I have.
jersey.
Yeah, I have a shirt jersey and a normal jersey. Yeah.
Is
When
that
we went
worth
to the
money?
Steelers game, I had to wear some type of merch, so
Yeah.
I had the Bortles jersey.
I have a Bortles combat T-shirt laying around somewhere.
Wow. There you go.
Shout out.
Love it. Shout out. Okay, who else we got?
All right, I'll do the third one. Our third coach, which I was shocked. I'm not going to lie. Tinsley predicted it. Pete Carroll.
Bummer.
He is perhaps going to be in the front office with the Seahawks, right? Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, a lot of it was like
yeah, go
like
ahead.
a month before the season was over. He kind of told them like, "Hey, I think I want to kind of shift out of coaching and take a lesser role and kind of help out the front office." And then apparently after the last game, he's like, "Nah, I still got the itch." And they're like, "Well, we don't care."
That's right. For old Pete.
Surprised both of those are not coaches still. We didn't really touch on it, but Belichick had we thought he was going to be with the Falcons and not. Another coach that we thought that was going to be a head coach was Mike Vrabel.
Your boy.
Yeah.
Our boy.
Heard some rumors today, though.
Let's hear
Joining the 49ers defensive coordinator.
Oh
no!
They just fired their defensive coordinator.
If that actually happens,
I've heard that is thrown around a lot.
Shoot.
That would make sense because they did fire Steve Wilkes today.
Yep. Yeah, that's not a bad
Joining
hire.
A Super Bowl team.
Yeah, that checks out.
So he'll get a head coaching job.
Apparently fired for being too tall.
What a crazy story that was. That he's too physically intimidating. Yeah, dude, he was a linebacker in the NFL. What do you expect?
I feel like
what do you want, Sean McDermott and all 5'8" of him?
Let's get some discrimination, like protected class discrimination suit here. Like they literally said that he was hard to like manage because he's too tall. Like I feel like you can get something out of that.
He's too big. Since sue the Titans for all they're worth. No new stadium for you, Mason.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, Mike Vrabel's going to walk away with all the stadium money.
Head coach that isn't built like a linebacker. Brandon Staley is also
Staley.
Yeah, tough break for that guy. Everybody thought this was the best team to head coach that was available, or some people do. I think when you look at, go ahead.
Where did he go? Didn't he get a defensive coordinator job? Was it the Packers or with you guys?
I don't think it was with us. I'm looking right now. I guess it's
the Packers.
Jim Harbaugh took over for Brandon Staley, but another one tends to kick off the next coach while I look up where he went.
Shout out future passing game coordinator for the Jaguars, Frank Wright. This poor guy gets fired from the Colts and somehow immediately gets another head coaching job with the Panthers, which is not the job you want because their owner is a psychopath. And Frank Wright did not want to draft Bryce Young because Bryce Young did not fit Frank Wright's system. And the owner said, I don't care. He's a winner. He's from Alabama. We're drafting him. Frank Wright famously said he wanted to draft C.J. Stroud. Boy, I wish they would have listened to him. So I don't have to deal with C.J. Stroud in the AFC South. But it is what it is. So shout out my guy Frank Wright. Can't wait to see you be joining Doug Peterson once again on the Jags staff.
Former Chargers head coach Brandon Staley linked to defensive coordinator job after Wilkes firing. So another rumor.
Okay. So I thought he
going
had
to the
one
49ers. Nope. Interesting. And the final one to wrap it up, Tinsley has in here Riverboat Ron.
Riverboat Ron, baby.
Ron Rivera.
He was just a lame duck all season, just chilling. Like he knew he was getting fired.
I kind of feel like he was known for if there's any controversy in the league or anything that was like a very hot topic, he was always the guy to kind of, speak out about it and kind of want to, be more like, I thought maybe he could be like a players, what do they call it? The players
Players
committee
coach.
guy, something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well, where it's like for the
The NFLPA.
PA, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He just seems like a players guy that's always like, oh, something controversial. I'm here to back up, whoever. But when it came to coaching, very mediocre with the Commanders. Yes, go ahead.
I've heard one more rumor that the Vrabel didn't get an interview with the Washington because of it might be the idea that he's too big and intimidating. Ron Rivera might have got fired because of the same thing, because Ron Rivera is also a former linebacker on the 85 Bears. So
was it the Washington you said that, not the Titans?
I've heard it's a little bit of both. It's like the Titans were kind of done trying to. Amy was done being intimidated by Mike Vrabel because he's such a big guy. And then Washington's owners and stuff were like, yeah, he doesn't seem like he's going to be like, he would be okay with being told what to do because he's such an intimidating man.
Interesting.
So is our whole, are we just going to start hiring Mike McDaniels out there that are like built like me, but shorter? Yeah, because all of them are like intimidating now.
Nah, give me a guy like Andy Reid. Give me an Andy Reid type.
Love it.
Cheeseburger.
Okay. Well, shout out to all of those we lost this year. Maybe football will be for the better.
Oh, one more. Sorry. Offensive coordinator for Iowa, who in his contract at the beginning of the year had a clause where he'd have to resign if his offense did not average more than 21 points for the season.
You wouldn't be close, I don't think.
Not even close, Iowa. Not even close. The guy had to resign. They made him coach. They made this poor man coach in the bowl game where UT was blowing him out, and they kept talking about it on the broadcast. They're like, yeah, it's going to be his last game as offensive coordinator. Because
are they the worst win team in history of maybe?
Probably since the last time they won 10 games.
Yeah, that's also true. All right.
All right. So those are the coaches we lost this year.
There we go.
Shout out to all of them. I'm sure a few of them we'll be seeing once again soon enough. But until then, this is the end of the road for them. All right, so we're going to be moving on to our next award, and this one might be my favorite of the bunch. This is the LVP, next guy up, least valuable player.
Yep.
We've all got a couple options here for the winner for ourselves. This is the definition of a player. He probably caused you some pain this year. He's someone who you think deserves to be kicked off your team.
Yep.
Does not deserve to be on your fantasy team or whatever it may be. But the least valuable player. Who wants to kick us off?
You do
I'll kick us off.
Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
Zach, kick it off.
I'll give you my nominees first and then into my actual winner. First nominee, Ryan Day. Can't win the big one. He beats all the trash on his schedule, still loses to Michigan, gets smacked around in the bowl game. Tough, then loses all of the players in the portal. Tough season for Ryan Day. USC's defense. You had the number one draft pick in the like right there, and your team still was horrible because you couldn't play any amount of defense. LSU's defense, same. Heisman Trophy winner. Like had one of the best seasons of all time statistically. You're still just like a mediocre team because your defense is so bad.
It's true.
Iowa's offense. If you put USC's offense and Iowa's defense together, you have a team that would have won the national championship. But Iowa's offense truly like remarkably horrible. We already mentioned it. I think this is my least valuable player because it came around here at the end of the year. From the world of the NFL, Kadarius Toney. His team. Well, obviously he has a tough breaks. He's offsides in the game-winning play. in the middle
Against
of
the
the
Bills.
season against the Bills, right? Big game. Goes down with an injury in the AFC Championship, the team comes out and says, "Guys, he's not injured. He's just not playing." That's the toughest of breaks, to be honest. Super Bowl comes around, the team comes out and says, "This guy is not playing," and they even said, "This is not injury related. He's not playing." Tough. Like, you hear stories of people joining the team and then winning the Super Bowl with them. You don't really hear stories of people being with the team all year and then not playing in the Super Bowl and then like being left. Like, his team was much better
A
without
healthy
him.
scratch.
Like, truly least valuable player. Like, the team was better without him.
He was a true liability to
Just an insane
their team.
I don't know that I've ever seen a player like hurt the team as much as it seems like that was. So, shout out Kadarius Toney. I hope you get a Super Bowl ring still.
Oh yeah,
Do you think he will?
He'll get one.
Yeah, he'll get it. Now, will he care about it? That's the question.
Before I sell it.
Kadarius Toney, if you're listening, we love you, but if you want to sell us your Super Bowl ring, we don't want that.
Come on the pod. Come on the pod.
Come on the pod.
He can come on the pod.
Yeah. Get on the pod, Kadarius. I'm sure you wouldn't fumble that question I'm about to ask you. Is that a good joke?
Got him.
Thank you. The tens laughed. Zach was just kind of like, oh, that was garbage. All right. I'm going to kick us off then. Those good picks.
It's already been kicked off.
You're right.
Make you kick this off for us.
I'm gonna kick us off again. So my least valuable player, I have two of them. They're not necessarily players, but these are my rules, so we're just going with it here. The first one is the Browns front office that traded for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson missed a majority of last season due to injury. He has now missed 22 games in his 2 seasons with the Browns. I might want to remind everybody how much they traded for this player. He's not really played that great. Joe Flacco probably played better than he did this season when he did play. Browns traded 2022, 2023, and 2024 first-round picks, 2023 third-round pick, and fourth-round pick in 2022, 2024, fourth round and third round picks. Sorry, words are hard. Did I also mention that the Browns signed him to a 5-year, $230 million contract?
Biggest contract ever.
Guaranteed money, biggest contract ever.
That's wild.
No one's ever done that ever. It still won't. After it happened, all the owners got together and be like, hey, ignore the Browns. We're not paying our quarterbacks like they just did. Like, they literally, the Browns messed up so bad that all the owners had to be like, we're not doing what the Browns did. They were so dumb. So, yeah, that was the least valuable, in my opinion. And then this second one is going to be injuries. If I had to ask you all how many different starting quarterbacks we had this year, what would you say?
17.
Total?
Out of 32 teams?
45.
54 different starting quarterbacks have played.
Wow.
Second most, the most was a year where a lot of them held out. I think it was like in the 70s or 60s or something. I never really looked
strike year.
The strike year, yeah. Of the 32 teams in the league, 16 used multiple starting quarterbacks. Starting quarterbacks that we lost for the whole season due to injury. Aaron Rodgers on the third play of the game.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson. Because of those injuries, we saw some quarterbacks on the field that we never thought we would see. Jake Browning, Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, Tommy DeVito, Tinsley's favorite, Aidan O'Connell, Tim Boyle, Jaron Hall, Tyson Bagent, Easton Stick. Did you know any of those players before the season started last year? besides Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, just Dobbs.
I literally
Big Josh
Nick Mullins
Dobbs.
maybe. Yeah, Nick
That's just
Mullins,
because he's
and
been around for a
he was on the
decade plus.
49ers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wild stuff. A lot of I literally have said it multiple times. I never remember this many injuries. Not just quarterback. I could go into tons of different positions. We lost Nick Chubb early in the season ending. That was a gruesome one. We had some really bad injuries. I never remember like having to, fantasy football be this chaotic as well. But that is my least valuable players.
There we go. All right, I've got 2 nominees and then my winner. I'm going to kick things off with my first nominee being myself for dropping Sam Laporta after week 1 in fantasy football. I drafted him late, but I also had Travis Kelce. I do a thing where I draft players just to try to trade them. No one wanted to trade for Travis Kelce early, so I said, well, I can't trade him. I'll have to keep him. I dropped Sam Laporta so I could do something on the waiver wire, and then I also picked up Kyle Pitts from Zach in a trade. What an idiot I am. If I would have just kept Sam Laporta all year, I would have been just fine. It is what it is. My second nominee is Joe Milton, because you've been in college for a decade, buddy, and you are bad. You are terrible. I said it all summer. I said, I don't trust this guy to make a touch pass to save his life.
That's true.
It's all I needed to know. And we lost games as UT fans that we should have won. I feel like we could have pushed Georgia a little bit for the East, but Joe Milton, LVP nominee.
It's fair.
But my winner, it's got to be playoff Dak. This guy puts up Madden stats all year. He wins the NFC East in a tight race against the Eagles last game of the year. He doesn't put on the hat because he says, we got more important things on our mind. I don't care about winning the division. And then you get smoked by the Packers at home in a playoff game where you legitimately threw like 2 pick sixes within minutes of each other.
Yeah. Tough break.
This guy, Dak, never change so I can keep betting against you in big moments because you'll never be clutch. He is my official LVP of the year. Playoff Dak.
We would also like you to be on the podcast to defend yourself. Great segment, guys. Listen, all the Cowboy fans would be listening to whatever he had to say.
That's true.
So
and that is a fan base I haven't made mad all year. I've been really focused on the Bills. I might shift to the Cowboys now.
All right. Looking forward to that next season. All right. Biggest team letdown?
Yes. Biggest team letdown. Mason, what do you got for us?
I have the Carolina Panthers. Yes, they may have not had high hopes, but they ended up with the worst season. Well, what happens when you have the worst record in the season? Yeah, sorry, or the worst record in the season. What happens when you do that, everybody? You get the first. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Tim.
so at least they get the first overall pick, right? To be able to help their team to build around Bryce Young.
Wrongo, because they traded it to move up to get Bryce Young, and the Bears look smart because now they have the first round pick.
Well, let me ask you this, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, but at least the Panthers have like a really good number 1 wide receiver that they have on the team to kind of help Bryce Young, right? Like someone who's been there for a while.
Wrongo, they traded DJ Moore away, so they don't have that either. So just a big letdown overall. Traded Christian McCaffrey away, has been a beast season before. So just tough break for them. I was like, does anybody even want to coach this team? And I felt like it took a really long time for them to find somebody. I don't know, just a bad letdown, bad team. Might take a while because they've traded their picks away to recuperate.
We might have cursed them. We might have cursed them.
Yeah,
it's been downhill since we went there.
We went there on a stadium tour together as a group.
They're already pretty bad.
They fired their head coach after we left.
They benched Baker
to fire them though,
and then they traded Christian McCaffrey.
We did start
It
some
was.
chants.
It's been rough since we went to the game.
Yeah, it really
We
has.
were. I was trying to get them to start chanting for Urban Meyer.
So if we have a curse, yeah, you did do that. If we have a curse on what stadiums we go to, are we going to Buffalo this year?
Nah, they're cursed. They don't need our help. Let's head to Arrowhead, baby.
All right, Zach, your biggest letdown of the biggest team letdown of the
I've already
year.
mentioned a couple of them, both of them actually, that are my two options. And so those are LSU, who had really high, if you remember, one of my future Fridays, I think, was about LSU winning the national championship. That did not pan out. They just ended up not being super good, especially defensively. They really didn't live up to those expectations. They were kind of preseason, sort of like Ole Misses for next year, being looked at as like they might make a run at it. It was not meant to be. Jane Daniels was as advertised, but everybody else was meh. And then Ohio State, once again, they get there undefeated, big matchup with Michigan, and they could not get it done. Got beaten pretty bad in their bowl game, and Ohio State fans not happy. And so both of those teams together are my college football biggest team letdown. I think their teams that underperformed. Fan bases ended the season not super happy with how it went down. So
All right. My biggest team letdown of the year, and this one was personally, but I think if you asked around the NFL, you could say this team absolutely choked. This was a team that going into a Monday Night Football game was 8-3, had a path for the number 1 seed, high hopes, and it came crashing down around us to finish 1-5 at the end of the year. And that was my Jacksonville Jaguars. They are my biggest team letdown. Emotionally,
financially,
for the podcast listeners, financially, irresponsibly, too many bets on the Jags.
I really hope somebody has their volume turned all the way up in their car and just got that blaring through all the speakers. That would have been fantastic.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, Tinsley really had a tough break this season.
I was legitimately
he was in a dark place,
football depressed for a while.
It's because they gave you hope, and then they just pulled the rug out from underneath you. It'd have been different if they just sucked from the beginning like the Titans did, but no, they were doing great, and then just fell off.
That's all right. That is okay. That is what I'm here for. I have signed up for this wild ride as a Jaguar fan. I have New Year's resolutions, the number one being that the Jags will have a better year next year. I have control over that.
Incorrect. Your number one is to hit a fat parlay that will pay out $100,000.
Yeah. Well,
$20,000
to get rich. Crazy. I'm just trying to get rich.
I thought rich enough to get the Jags GM fired.
That's third.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get that one done.
Okay, I have an idea.
So
I know we're short on time, but we should start posting insane parlays of like $1 to pay out like $100,000 and tag the Jags in it and be like, listen, if I hit this, you should fire your GM until one actually hits. And then it's on them. They got to do it at that point. I mean, come on.
Multi-billion-dollar organization, guy who won $100,000.
But you've been a lifelong fan. They just need to look at your Twitter account and they'll be like, this guy's been devoted. Maybe we should listen to him.
$100K to the Jags owner is legitimately pocket change.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
No, you're right.
It'd be enough for me to buy my name like on a wing of the new practice facility. That would be about
it. Though.
Or we could just go over there late at night one day and paint it on there.
I'd like to own my own wing, and then Trent Baalke wouldn't be allowed in my part of the building that I bought because I can't stand that dude. All right. Anyway.
Okay, I have one Jaguars. Last one. We all can agree on this. Biggest letdown game of the year. Tinsley and myself were actually supporting Zach's dad, Robert. Zach wasn't even there to morally, mentally, and physically support him during this tough time. Me and Tinsley
This
watched.
game was tough.
Yes, it was probably one of the toughest UT Vol games that I've seen in a while, and I've seen a lot of them. But Robert can attest to this. I was afraid to say anything because of how mad he was. That I laugh when I'm in a state of like sadness or upset. I just start like laughing or trying to make jokes. That is not the time to do it when the Vols are up 20-7 at the half against Alabama. Final score. Did they score any more points in the second half, Tins?
No, they did not.
Final score 34-20.
Tough.
Zach, where were you for that game?
I don't know.
Do you remember? Oh, you like to erase that memory out of your brain.
I will say, be on the lookout for that energy coming to a fan interview soon.
Oh, sneak peek! How about that?
Little teaser. So they call it teaser in the biz.
We need to get that on the questions. Is him giving us a little snippet of how that game went?
That's not even top 10 most heartbreaking Vols moments for me.
No.
Not even top 20. Right. It's not even close.
It was the most heartbreaking out of last season, though, right?
Of what?
I just remember my daughter Macy just kept handing him. He has a foam brick that he's allowed to throw.
We bought it. Me and Jalen bought it for him.
Y'all bought for him, and every time he was getting mad and he had the controller, Macy would run over. She'd go, "Here, Robert, you can throw this, not the controller."
Got him. That's awesome.
We were with him when he threw a controller.
Oh yeah.
Save it for the pod. Save it. Save it for the interview.
Don't let all his secrets.
Next award, best gambler, Tinsley.
Yes. So a fun thing that we were doing this year, me and Mason, we are professional gamblers after all. We make all of our money in our lives. We don't have real jobs. We just gamble.
Yeah.
Psych. We're just like you guys at home. We just like to bet for fun. We do a lot of research and stuff, but at the end of the day, we are not professionals. We just pretend to be online. But we were doing the next guy up parlay, because who doesn't love a parlay?
Love it.
Because why would I bet something that could have a better chance of hitting when I could take $5 and turn it into $100? So that's what parlays are for. But so best gambler award, we're giving this award out to all you guys out there who faded every pick of the next guy up parlay every week. Congrats. I know for a fact there were multiple weeks that we were reverse swept. All three of us would give out a pick. They were all three wrong.
Tough
Congratulations. We played ourselves.
So remember this moment for next season, because you might want to do it again.
Yeah, we're coming back.
We're coming back for a vengeance. I dare everyone to start fading us next year.
He dares them.
I dare them. Listen, what other podcast gave out a minus 800 to not make the playoffs? No one.
It's a dub.
So if you're trying to bet against us, you're gonna lose. We're handing out picks like that.
That's right. All right.
Ooh,
and our final award of the episode, we're coming down to it. Best game of the year. And the best game of the year goes to Zach.
Yeah, I had two options here. I think I'm going to roll. I'll give a runner up to Oklahoma, Texas. The Red River Rivalry, always a fun one. This one was no different. Came down to the very end of the game. Oklahoma took that one. Both teams let off a little bit, but Texas kind of had their vengeance and came back and made the playoffs. Oklahoma fell off a little bit, but that was a really fun game. Both teams joining the SEC next year, so that's a big. There's some fun stuff happening there, and then also, this was the finish of the year. Alabama Auburn. Auburn just very nearly spoiled Bama's championship run and their SEC championship run and their playoff berth at Jordan-Hare until a last second pass from Jalen Milroe. Let's Bama take the win there. So that was just an extremely exciting game. Letting Bama win. So that was one of the few kind of ended at the buzzer, like really, truly a. I don't know.
Fourth
A
and
couple of them
goal.
did. Both of those did. Yeah, fourth and goal from the how far back?
31.
That
It
was
was like a
insane. Auburn kind of threw it away, but anyways, shout out to that game. That was awesome stuff.
All right, I'm going to change mine to craziest game of the year. There are no rules. Because I just felt like this is something that we've never seen in my lifetime. And it just stood out. It wasn't necessarily the best game, but it was the craziest, and that would be back in September. Dolphins 70, Broncos 20. If you've ever played Madden, you always wanted to run up the score, and that's what it looks like. I have some crazy things here. Total yards, 726 total yards by the Dolphins. 376 passing, 350 rushing. They almost had as much rushing as the Broncos had overall yards. They had 30 first downs. Broncos had 16. Just like a crazy score, like for sure. A crazy game. I'm sure nobody was watching in like the fourth quarter, but it wasn't like an overtime game or a nail biter, but just like definitely an insane game. Tua had 4 touchdowns. Kane had 230 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm still not getting his name right. It's fine. Raheem Mostert had 82 yards. Chris Brooks had 66. I mean, it was just like, it was literally like Tyreek Hill had 157 receiving yards. It was literally like just mad numbers. So pretty crazy game.
It was. All right. Just real quick, my best game of the year, maybe recency bias, but I had the Super Bowl as a nominee, runner up. Just a really fun game to me. But my favorite game of the year was Georgia Alabama SEC championship game. As much as I do not like Alabama, I did not want to see Georgia get a three-peat in everyone's face.
Yep.
So luckily, the man, the myth, the legend, Nick Saban came through for us one last time.
Shout out.
Ended those chances. Song. What a swan song it was. No three-peat for you, Georgia. So that was a very fun game from what I remember.
Yeah.
Good back and forth. So that was my game of the year.
All right, we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, we got
wrap it up with the most important award.
It definitely is. And this was a collective agreement, 100%. And it is the next guy at MVP. I'm going to have you all announce it with a drum roll. Da, 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 da. It is
my guy, Connor Stallions.
The one, the only.
Responsible for the biggest storyline, most funny storyline of the year. National champion, Connor Stallions. Yep. I think you could argue that without him, Michigan does not win the national championship this year. Forget Harbaugh, forget McCarthy. Connor Stallions should be taking that trophy home with him. He earned it. He's taking it. Shout out. And he really I've never seen a single person like shoot to the top like that. Whenever you're talking about sports, you don't see an assistant coach all of a sudden be like one of the most famous people in the world for a couple weeks there when all of it was happening. Connor Stallions did it, man.
He did.
I hope he parlays this into like a successful media career. Doing something, having a podcast. I don't know where something.
I mean, he's a grinder. He is. Where else are you going to find a high-level assistant coach sneaking on the sidelines of Western Michigan to steal signs?
I'll never forget the dedication with the glasses with the little dot on the red dot was recording. People were digging deep, and that's people were like, so funny.
How did no one notice this man on the sideline that doesn't work for this team?
Not affiliated with the team at all. Oh, it's so funny.
That guy went to academy in their local town and just picked up a Western Michigan polo. Snuck onto the sidelines.
I'm gonna need him to get a job at a high school or like a high school coach, or I
He'll be
really think
unstoppable.
he would be a great football analyst though. Like he needs his own podcast where he talks about all the play calls and stuff. I think people will listen.
Let's get him on.
He's got a
He
lot of
could break
experience.
gambling.
He can do it legally. If he's not like affiliated with a team, he can film stuff, whatever he wants to do. What are they going to stop him?
It's true.
That would be awesome. He'll wear disguises into games and stuff.
Yep.
I think there's something there. Maybe
That's
we need
it.
a partnership.
Someone find his Twitter. We need to hit this guy up. He needs to join our team. We're the perfect avenue for him.
I think that's true. All right. Is that a football season, everybody?
I think that's
it.
Football season.
Wow. Put a bow on it.
Put a bow on it. We will be done talking football until the draft.
Yeah.
And then after that, well, I guess not, because we're going to be interviewing some football fans. But we're going to stop talking about things that just happened in the football season, because it is time for the 2023-24 season to be laid to rest. Buried 6 feet under.
Right next to Nick Saban and Bill Belichick.
Right next to Nick Saban.
All right. Well, that is all for today, guys. We, like we said, we have a lot cooking up, so we are not going anywhere. Weekend preview coming up next week. We have our new fan segment, and then this Mess Around Monday. We have a new something big dropping, actually. We are dropping our TV show superlatives for the first time. It's going to be a multi-week type of segment, and so very excited about that. It's gonna be good, I think. So tune in on Monday for Messing Around Monday, and we will see you then. Have a great weekend.